And welcome back to week 13 of Wrestling in Mom's Basement. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This guy to my right, Joe Venuto.
Thank you.
I decided to do the pause again.
This is the Full Brawl 2000 review.
Partially because I didn't know what I was going to say.
Because it's the Full Brawl 2000 review.
Yes. It's Fall Brawl 2000.
Which is fitting with the announcement of War Games coming back.
It is very fitting.
Well, it's not fitting. There is no War Games on this Full Brawl, so.
No.
There is a steel cage match, though. Involving everybody's favorite main event, Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Apparently, it's the WWE Network random favorite wrestler because we always get his matches.
And main event, whatever WWE favorite does, or he's involved in main event.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get away from this guy. He wasn't one of my favorites when I was younger, but then I grew up and realized in-ring work.
But this WCW 2000 was some considered the best period ever for the company, so. But
not one person considers that.
Except
Dixie Carter. And that is actually a fact. That's not a joke.
No. It's from the HSBC Arena in Buffalo, New York. The attendance was 8,638, and the commentators were Scott Hudson, Tony Schiavone, and Mark Manning.
The best WCW broadcast team.
This should be interesting. Because I can barely remember what was going on with the card. I did remember that Vince Russo had a huge gimmick match built around him. With a big swerve that no one saw coming in one-off show. Other than that, we have Kevin Nash defending against Booker T in a cage. Which started as like a step down after a big cage match I had on Nitro about 2 weeks before that. Which they did War Games on Nitro.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. We open up with a look at the double event, Goldberg and Scott Steiner and Booker T, Kevin Nash. And they're partially reenacted by action figures. The double event. Well, that's certainly different.
I never expect that from a major company.
I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but it's definitely a different one.
You can say that again.
I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but it's definitely a different one. Should I say it again?
No.
Alright, up first, the Cruiserweight title, Kiwi versus the old Skipper. Kiwi is defending after winning a match a few weeks back, despite having no interaction with the old Skipper before the pay-per-view. So they said this is a feud for the ages, and they never interacted with each other until this match. So, Il Skipper tries to dance with Major Guns during the entrance, as Scott Hudson drools over her in the Maple Leaf top.
That's what she's in
Canada. And so is everybody's favorite Canadian, Il Skipper.
Is he Canadian?
I don't think so.
I'll look that up while you go.
Okay. Kiwi loaded up for a slam to start the match, but drops Elix's face first instead in a unique move. Armbar had Elix in trouble.
Funny enough, he's the first Elix.
All that fun.
I see. He's an American-born wrestler. Yeah, he was born in New York, or Roosevelt, New York, wherever that is.
That's perfect, though. As I was going to for what I'm going to hit. While he's trapped in an armbar, the fans starts chanting USA for both Americans.
Yeah.
Back up and Elix forearm Kiwi in the back of head. Then as we can see the ridiculous amount of glitter all over Major Gun's back. I don't know why she had glitter on her back. Elix flip over Kiwi and this two of a dragon suplex. Major Guns plays cheerleader as Kiwi fights out Chinlock, causing Mark Manning to go into another tirade. And one of the worst spots I've seen in a long time, Kiwi hit a crossbody, but Elix just stayed on his feet and dropped Kiwi out to the floor, only to get his balance, and then he fell out as well. So he caught him in like a power slam and threw him out to the floor, and then he lost his balance and fell out to the floor as well. Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skipper, he did make up for it though with a top rope outside moonsault, which knocked out the cameraman for the always cool looking crash.
Yeah.
Back in, Kiwi countered the overdrive into a layout powerbomb for 2 of his own. Then out came the natural born throwers, who have no reason to be involved in this match. Skipper turned over the top and out to the floor of his knee, crashing the barricade. As referee checks on him, Mike Sanders, the leader of the natural born throwers, sneaks in and blasts Kiwi in the ring, in the leg with a stick ball bat, for no logical reason.
If anyone's big stick ball, it's usually with a broken broom handle. So
that's how
a broken broom handle.
That's how it was.
But they announced it as a stick ball
bat.
Okay.
Back in, a chop block sets up the overdrive to retain Skipper's title. I did a match to see. Illogical on their side, this wasn't the worst opener in the world. Kiwi was a face. It is now a face, but just because. But he actually did have a lot of charisma, so at this point, probably deserved to be higher on the card. Not much to see here, though, as the Cruiserweight title had just died in recent months. It will actually make a renaissance, though, towards the end of WCW.
Yeah.
With Gregory Helms and Chava having a series, but not at this point.
Even the Cruiserweight Tag Team titles at the time, with the Young Dragons 3 count and Evan Courageous and Jamie Noble.
Yeah.
They actually had a really good ladder match.
Starcade 2000. The announcers right down the car with Mark Mann saying Goldberg versus Steiner is going to go off like Goldberg versus Steiner is going to go off like a prom dress.
Who said that?
Mark Mann. There was way too much emphasis on teenage sex in 2000 WCW.
Yeah.
Up next, 3 count versus the Misfits in action.
Which one's in the Misfits in action?
Hold on.
If it's like Booker, Chavo, and Hugh Morris, then it'll be okay.
Corporal Cajun, Lieutenant Loco, and Abel.
Never mind.
Before the match, we got a little I Can't Get You On My Heart before the match by 3 count. Which I believe is a bonus at this point. Scott Hudson quoted, Helen Keller is a big 3 count fan.
Funny line.
Oh yeah, I know that. But we've also had stories of somebody that we know told me about Helen Keller.
Yeah.
And a stalker.
Yeah, that's a private joke.
Yeah.
Probably one we're not going to say, so.
No. There's also been, that Tally was building a feud with Helen Keller a few weeks ago on SmackDown too. So, Helen Keller's been getting big in the wrestling world. Lieutenant Loco and Shamward, this thing's going, and this actually does have potential. Chava season ring. Lieutenant Loco chopped up against the ropes and grabbed a good-looking wheelbarrow suplex. Then it was ult to Cajun for a flapjack on Courageous before it was ult to Wall, who actually did a cool move because he grabbed Helms and pressed him, and the girl pressed him to a spine buster for 2. Then Evan Courageous tripped Cajun up, though, allowing a fireman's carry neckbreaker combination to get 2 more, and then a heel slip over. Cajun was the face of peril with Shang getting 2 of a famous crossbody suplex, because Sam Evans does a top rope elbow for an underfold. Shang gets 2 off a top rope splash and misses an unsplash in the corner, allowing a hot tackle to Wolf for some house cleared. Everything breaks down as Shang takes Cajun out of a springboard foot dive. Courageous drops Loco and Cajun and dives down by Abel, bursts of a dive, on to get dropkick through a table. Shane super kicks Evan by mistake as Shane dives into the powerbomb for 2. A double DDT gets 2 more Loco, but Woolman save, allowing Cajun to hit the whiplash for the pin on Shane. The other match should be. I know this was really obvious, but it's amazing how much fun it is to watch go wrestle match between counts of guys like Chavo and 3 count. Yeah. There's no big angle here, some crazy story. It says just 3 heels and 3 heroes in a wrestling match and entertaining the fans. In other words, the best thing the company has done much probably this week.
Yeah, 3 count is probably the best thing going in WCW at that point.
Yeah. So just like the town the guys wrestle and it's going to work. Earlier today, Nashville and Silent Lord ran for a kid.
What a prick.
Why was this kid backstage when the wrestlers arrived at the display, of course?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking his parents should be punished for letting him see such a horror show. There are more and more NPCs opposite the hard camera. After every match, that's sad to see. Understandable, but sad. Up next, Harris Brothers vs. Chronic in a first blood chain match.
I know it's making my panties come right off thinking about the quality of this match.
Really?
Yep.
It's a chain match, but Brian Adams wants to make it first blood because heaven forbid either team takes the fall. It's a brawl to start. No. With Brian Adams working over Don Harris. Inside. The guys are chained together, which is probably better than watching them trying to work a regular tag match, though. Everyone heads in the crowd as Tony asks how's the referee supposed to know who leaves first. Well, he could watch on the big screen like most of the fans have to. But maybe he gets a special privilege because he works here, I don't know. Adams and Don come back to ringside with the ladder going face first to the steps. Their partners are back a few seconds later, including Don screaming some fans for some of the only heel action you see around here. The referee gets bumped because our first blood chain match needs a freaking rough bump.
Yep.
Adam beats on Don as the announcers change which Harris is with which Chronic guy. Though it's about as important as which Usos which. They're all talented, except for in this case they're not talented.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite. It doesn't matter because they both suck.
Yeah, and it busts him open. Mark Madden says, "That's grape juice." Scott Hudson says, "Did he get his period for Pete's sake?"
There's a lot of teenage sexual references going on in this show that's pretty uncomfortable right now.
Ron gets the baseball bat with a chain wrapped around it to bust Adams open as referees wake up, giving the Twins the win. F. And I'd like to emphasize that these four chains have a clean finish in their first blood chain match. Do you really protect one of the most dominant tag teams in years? I think that was described as chronic.
Yeah.
And with 2 clear matches in one match. It's really that bad in WCW these days. Nobody's seen here, but at least it was short. Now we got the general erection. Promising to win the title back for America today.
Okay.
This match is dedicated to Jim Duggan, who just happens to be here as guest enforcer.
Oh no, this is the time.
Yep.
Oh god.
Just heard him heel already, right?
Yep.
U.S. title, general erection versus Lance Storm. Storm is defending. Major Guns is on the line as a bonus. So.
Okay.
And Duggan is guest enforcer. Before the match, Storm says he's so close yet so far from home. After tonight, everyone's welcome to join him in Ontario for Nitro tomorrow night. Duggan finally comes out, and you can see the second shirt underneath his referee's shirt. So just get to the screw job, alright? So Tony can call it unthinkable. Joe Rex just Simone drop gets no cover. But Lancer says it into a quarter for a breather. A nice super kick gets 2 for the champ. And they head back outside where Duggan mimes shooting Storm with the 2x4. Back in, and Rex just tries with the attacks on the knee before sending Storm flying with a German suplex. It's time for the no leg to matter, but of course Duggan hits Rex with the board. Set up the Maple Leaf to retain the title. F. At the time, these 4 people, like today, Gino Cohen, Miss Elizabeth, and Jim Duggan, are 4 characters that worked so well over the years, and they turned them all around because Mr. Sakota decided to let things really shook out. They made Mike Tenay and Gino Cohen 2 horny men chasing after random strippers. And one man in WCW. You know what they did to Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And now Jim Duggan, one of the more easiest characters you can have, is now Canadian.
One of the most simple,
Yeah. Again, there was no shock here when they had Duggan as enforcer for no logical reason. They introduced him on Monday, the Monday before, for the singles one match. Backstage, the Throwers almost get in a fight with Gene, who threatened to have people break Sean O'Hare's kneecaps. Hey, Gene, and promises to beat up something made of, and then they promise to beat up something made of cheese whiz.
Scheme Gene.
Up next, the Natural Born Throwers versus the Filthy Animals, Paul Orndorff and Big Vito.
It's a heck of a match right there.
It's honestly, I'm not sure who's all in this match, because there was a bunch of people staying on the floor because the aprons were full. So, Cody was too injured to wrestle on Thunder, but he's in the ring here, while Sol Stasiak is on the floor. Paul Orndorff is a mystery partner to freak the Natural Born Throwers out an idea that always works, I guess. Mark Jindrak slaying Bray around the start, as Scott Hudson told about Disco, costed the Filthy Animals the tag team titles. But what's funny is, the match on Thunder was actually a non-title match. Because the Filthy Animals had the tag team titles with them at Full World. Scott Hudson's just that dumb. Hoovy comes in, I didn't know he was part of Filthy Animals, and gets beaten down by Mark Jindrak and Sean here before. As ultimate Disco for the same kind of beating. Cohane gets the tag and punches Sean here a few times until Sean here takes over again. We get some miscommunication for the Animals, at least Disco stunning Cohane for the first elimination. As elimination did. As ultimate Johnny the Bull versus Disco, with Johnny jumping from the mat to the apron with no hands, only to miss a late drop. Amazing athleticism, but not the smartest guy. Disco's partners will tag into allowing Reno, remember him?
No.
Okay. To roll the dice for the elimination. The crossroads. Vio comes in and Mafia kicks Reno before hitting the Vio special. A spinning lip in DDT. For 2 and pull him out. We get back to Vio versus Reno with the former grabbing the stickball bat. Only to get placed over a candlestick from the apron. Another roll of dice concerns Vio, and we're down to the full throwers versus Orndorff, Hoovy, Ray, and Tigers.
And Tigers. Okay. So it's 7-7. And Tony says it's 6-2. If you count Orndorff, it's 6-3. It's 6-4. Of course, Tigers is in the match. Hoovy and Reno are now with the champ. Hoovy. Then Dropkick take over to Hoovy, Draw, and Reno sets up the Nutcracker Suite to get rid of Reno. Mark and Sean here did the fight Ray and Hoovy with the champs in trouble as Ray staying outside. Hoovy tries to dive on the throwers on the floor, only to get caught midair and sent from back inside. The senton bomb on his Hoovy. And the announcers say that Paul Orndorff is left, despite Ray not being eliminated, and Tigers getting on the apron. Paul Orndorff finally comes in and cleans out until Johnny hits him in the back with a kendo stick. That goes nowhere as Orndorff drives a pile driver to get rid of Johnny. Jindrak misses a charge in the corner, and Orndorff drops Sean with a knee lift. Another pile driver punches Mark, and Orndorff isn't moving. Yeah, this is where Orndorff got hurt.
Yeah. Sean gets a quick cover for the pin as we clearly got an injury here. Tigers gives Jindrak a Bronco Bronster as Orndorff has to move. Ray and Tigers beat up the throwers like the goons they are, as Orndorff is at least moving his arms. The match is...
And I think it takes him a while for the ref to...
For the match out.
To throw the match out.
The match is finally further out because of Orndorff. It rolled out.
Yeah, they don't check on him for a while, and they throw the match out after a few minutes.
Right. The ending hurt a lot, but at the same time, I really had no idea who was in the match at any given time. The throwers clean tails at times. It's a bad sign waiting for who's still in the match and who isn't. Orndorff was the highlight of that match, as he knew to get around the throwers because he trained him. So him as a surprise actually didn't make sense. Even if the announcers never actually brought that up, though.
Yeah.
Orndorff was put in a neck brace as the show basically stops. Backstage, Kimin and Medusa called Tori a lot of bad names and promised to set her and Shane flying off the scaffold. Medusa was way more fired up than she should be here. Up next, the tag team mixed tag scaffold match. Medusa and Kimin versus Tori Wilson and Shane Douglas. The scaffold's on the stage and rises up to save some time. Shane runs his mouth to fill some time beforehand. Only to remind us of his promise to refund everyone's money if his team loses. The rules here are you have to crawl across and get down the other side of the ring. Not saying your opponent's flying as everyone told about, but just crawl across and climb down the scaffold. Thankfully, the scaffold is slightly wider than most instances was probably 5 to 6 feet from side to side. This is Tony Schiavone to Mark Mannion. Get your boob jokes out now so I can hunt this up a bit. Shane and Kim argue over how high the scaffold goes, as you might expect them to. The woman fight at one end. For some reason, Medusa just doesn't
shoved toward their face and climb down wind. They just start fighting. Instead, Medusa goes after Shane and tries to kick him over in the middle, only to be pulled into the STF. Kimmin manages to save against Power Slam, allowing the woman to go to different ends of the scaffold. Shane hits the franchiser as Medusa's leg is caught in the ladder. Shane goes over and kicks her in the head for the crash onto a rubber soft pad to end this match. Well, wait, that's not it though. You saw the climb down. What happens if everyone falls off then?
Yes.
Does the match continue until they get out of traction and climb up and down again? Tori hits Kimmin low, and Shane throws him down through another crash pad, and we're still not done, as they had to climb down to win. Well, Super Seven rules. F. What more do you want me to say here? They gave away the ending, and the whole thing was on a scaffold. At least they had set up where the fans could see what was going on. But this was through almost every level. It's a bad gimmick that has worked all once ever, maybe. And now we have this mess, which comes 10 minutes after a legitimate injury. Jeff Jarrett in a Buffalo Bills jersey to tickle the local crowd jumps Sting from behind because he's getting the title shot on my truck. Apparently the fan commanded Jarrett was wearing a Buffalo Bills jersey.
In Buffalo.
Yes. And now let's segment with Mike Today, going to David Flair's house for an interview.
Okay.
Mike Today says he's all alone. Mine's the cameraman and probably a producer, of course. David's house is a disaster, a piece of beer and newspapers everywhere. Today brings up the father of the baby. So David freaks out because it might be his 11-year-old brother Reed. The father of Miss Hancock's baby.
I did hear that it was supposed to be Vince Russo.
Yes, said I.
But fortunately for them, the company went out of business. And Vince Russo wasn't working there at the time.
Right. That goes nowhere, so today suggests Rick to be the father. Only to have David freak out and attack his mailman. Thankfully, there was a cameraman waiting by David's mailbox to see David put him in the figure four. David then runs down the street. Up next, Vampira versus Great Muta versus Sting. Please let this be the grand finale of this Sting Vampira feud.
Yes.
The Clowns take over commentary, this income policy, for what should be hilarious. Vampira and Sting fight in the aisle until the until Great Muta comes out to put somebody in going after them. They had that crowd, but with the Clowns on commentary switching between talking about Grey Tuna, whatever the fuck that is, and talking about Sting spandex pants. And Shaggy from the Next Gen Clown Posse says the winner, not Stinger, was trained by a speckled belly octopus.
It's a very, very insightful commentary there.
They get back inside with Muta standing around Washington. As Sting beats on Vampiro, some spin kicks from Muta sets up a top rope clothesline from Vampiro. As the announcers want to see the Panic Pickle pitch. Lardass. The Muta Soul gets it too on Sting, but the Clowns have to break up a fight between Muta and Vampiro. Sting cleans out with a bull bat. Scott Hudson says that's clown abuse. And Death dropped to Muta for the win, for the pin. Other than the commentary, this is about disasters and feuds going nowhere, but just continues for whatever reason. Sting has no character other than this point out that he stings. And that's nowhere near enough for old veterans just for some kind of big prize for Vampiro to be. This is Muta's last TV match. I don't think he's going to be missed. That's not a knock on him, as his in-ring work is fine enough, but the story itself was horrible. Sting saved Muta from a post-match beatdown. Earlier tonight, Mike Olsen offered to make Whoopi, his words, with Pamela.
Is this Fat Chick Thriller?
Yes.
Mike Awesome?
Yes. Austin has a surprise for Jeff Jarrett tonight. Out comes Gary Coleman.
Okay then.
Bunkhouse Brawl. Mike Olsen versus Jeff Jarrett. Me and Hart. Jarrett yells as some of the Buffalo Bills on the way ring where the weapons already set out. Jarrett rants about the Bills losing to the Titans last year in the NFL playoffs, which took place about 9 months before the show.
Now we get on to Austin.
Very timely. Very timely.
Now we get on to Austin, who Jeff guarantees a beating. Scott Hudson's. Not with Gary Coleman, you're not going to beat Mike Awesome. Thankfully, Mike Awesome comes out in regular gear, not the 70s gear, but somehow doesn't see the professional wrestler in a football jersey, Jeff Jarrett, come after him. Mike chokes him with a noose, so Jarrett beats on him over the back of him with a broom. A cheer duel goes badly for Jarrett, also bites him in the back a few times. Hudson talks about making Mike the career-killing 70s fat chick thrower to put all three gimmicks in one. Back in the Super Awesome Bombs calendar, backdrop for the table, so this is getting more and more like ECW every day. Awesome whips him into the barbed wire board twice in a row, and pop-up sit-up power on gets swing Jarrett. Of course, he pops right back up and toss the Bills even more. Joel and the murder barricade, on the apron. The Bills get in a few shots, and the Awesome Bomb gets two. The referee finally gets the Bills off the apron, so the fans can see, only to have Gary Coleman run in to break up a guitar shot for low blow. That earns Gary Coleman a guitar shot. But now Sting runs in for a death drop. They give also the pin.
So why did Sting run in? Oh, because Jerry Time. Got it.
F.
Yeah.
It took the Buffalo Bills, Gary Coleman, and Sting to allow Mike Olsen to get the pin. This definition of match where the writers just treat together our analysis and come up with it and have fun instead of trying to entertain people. The thing makes sense if you have enough hard boots handy. But it's way overdone to accomplish anything. At least Mike Olsen won though. We recap Scott Steiner vs. Goldberg, which started when Goldberg walked out on the match at New Blood Rising, which I know is a pay-per-view past I've been get to.
Oh yeah.
Only to have Steiner beat up Goldberg's girlfriend. Not his current wife. None of this is mentioned for 2 weeks before the match because the story stopped mattering once the match was set up. As so is often the case around here. Steiner shouts that he'll win. Goldberg vs. Scott Steiner, no DQ, of course. That's a good thing here. Steiner puts on a black mask and stalls a bit at the bell. Back in, Goldberg scores a flying shoulder, followed by a gorilla press to the power slam for 2. It's time to start the heavy brawl. So now, so this has been going for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 2 minutes. We were approaching 2. Back in, Goldberg runs him over again, but the bang of bomb slows Goldberg down. The spear moves hits the buckle, but he slowly will catch Steiner down off the top and power slam complete with a pause. Where Goldberg pulls him out of the air before slamming him. Cue to return Medasia with a pipe. But Steiner is fine enough to tie Goldberg in a tree woe for some cheers or rings. The bloody Goldberg is thrown down with a suplex as Hudson can't remember what Goldberg did to put Medasia through a table. As he can't remember the one move that Goldberg uses to finish people. The pipe is not the way first. The pipe is not the first spear.
He's laughing at the WWE Network we have on, and it's Bobby Heenan wiping down his chair in WCW. For Starrcade 94?
5.
5.
Yeah, the pipe is not the way with a spear, but here's Russo to break up the jackhammer with a baseball bat shot. Steiner sends Goldberg through the table, and Russo celebrates like he did himself. Here's the recliner, but Goldberg does a slow crawl to the ropes, even though there was almost no pull in the hold. And electric chair really breaks the hold, but Medasia and Russo hit Goldberg with their objects, so I'm a belly-to-belly superplex from Steiner. Back to the recliner, and the thing looks so bad, Steiner's recliner. With Steiner really just putting his hands on Goldberg's chin and not even touching his arms. That swing net breaker puts Steiner down, but he hits Goldberg with the pipe and puts the recliner on the floor the 3rd time for the knockout. Goldberg pass out. Here comes the shock, A-.
That's a big shot.
This is fun, horrible finishing move aside. And kept Goldberg looking strong while also making Steiner look like the killer they needed him to be. It was all about 2 guys beating the heck out of each other for around 13 minutes. Though I really could have gone about Russo being in there to screw things up. Though to be fair, it's his company and vanity project at this point, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
The villains celebrate, and for some reason Vince Russo took his shirt off, and some reason didn't say. But as the commentator said, that makes it special.
Yep.
We recap Booker versus Nash. With the latter turn heel to steal the title, Nash. When she decided he wanted for a change, Russo rigged things and decided his Kevin Nash was going to take the title. The evil plan actually worked and tells the rematch inside cage. Booker says he's here for revenge because if you don't start none, there won't be none.
WCW World Title Booker T was Kevin Nash. Nash is defending inside Riddle Cage. Mark Madden says it's hard to win a title the first time or get it back. Scott Hudson says, I've never held a world championship.
Thank God for that. Although I'm pretty sure it was not for the lack of trying the Russo's end, so.
Given that Scott Hudson, I take it he won like 6 of them. Booker goes after the arm to start without real success. Then Nash told him to switch over the big cage, the triple cage, to the regular version. Does run out somebody here where the Nash clothesline down, and we're told that Ornborg has a stinger, but he's talking and he's feeling all limbs. A turnbuckle gets ripped off, but Booker slams him down to take over again. The bookend is broken up, though. Nash plays over Chosen for delay 2. Booker says the champ face first his first buckles to draw some blood, followed by the missile dropkick and 2 more. A low blow puts Booker down, and there's the big boot to the face. The jackknife is broken up, and the bookend gives Booker the title back. That was it. That's the match. This is the definition of all that happened. There was zero need for certain changes. It didn't change anything. It felt like a dark match. It says something that he didn't say. Booker getting the title back is fine. And Pin was clean. He says once better than something shameful, it takes a million angles to achieve. Now good match, very close to one dog, good result. Overall rating a high F.
A high F.
The key to this show is simple. They were actually slowing down some things and not having a million angles in every match. The main event was clean. A lot of the mid-card stuff was clean. Most of the interference made sense. That's a big difference here, as you don't want to have interference for the sake of interference, because it takes away from the moments where the Goldberg vs. Stein, for instance, had interference that made sense, and was more effective as a result. However, there's still a lot of role care. There was way too many gimmick matches, or matches where the gimmicks take away from what's going on otherwise. For instance, look at the elimination tag. Did you really need to have everyone in there, or could it just come down and say 4 and 4? The biggest thing they say chemistry sometimes less is more. It's okay to have a wrestle match for the sake of having a wrestle match, and to just let it go where it goes out 5 plot points a little way. Overall, this is the best pay-per-view they've done in a long time, I will assume. This one, because they're getting closer to having a balance between the insanity and actual show. Yeah. The show's still far from match to go, but at least they're not making me spend out going on about how horrible the show was or how broke the rules of wrestling. So now that's nature step 4 for them, which is really sad to think about. F. Only match recommendation I will give you will be Goldberg vs. Scott Steiner. Next video, WWE SummerSlam 2011.